Hello everyone and welcome back to the Star Fox Adventures playthrough. Today we're going to be getting all those little white grub tubs to help the Queen Earthwalker so we can actually start the plot of this game. Yeah, this is like the fourth part and we haven't really started our adventure quote unquote because the MacGuffins we're going to get, the spell stones, we haven't even started the first dungeon for that, and I think that's one of the biggest kind of weaknesses against this game. It does take a long time to start, as it were. I mean, like, the plot has started, but the actual going on our quest, if you know what I mean, hasn't started. And this, to me, this whole section of the game is one of the biggest pieces of padding I might have ever seen. I just don't enjoy it very much. Like, the under the well set piece has been done before, and the obvious one there is Ocarina of Time. And it's just not a very good area. It's just not very interesting, and it to me it's probably the most boring section of the entire game, apart from having just thought of it just now. There is one layer. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm going to get through that in the commentary. At the very least, the area looks nice and pretty, has some nice, and it has a nice colour palette and all of that. Now, basically the progression of events you're supposed to do is you're supposed to come down here, talk to a character in a minute, and then go and get the lantern. Now, you saw last part and you heard me say I didn't do that. I went and got the lantern first just to save myself a bit of time. Unfortunately, I didn't really think that through, and it actually removes one of the more amusing conversations in the game. It's kind of like a cheese fest of voice acting. It's so hilariously over the top that it kind of, like, when I was recording this, I didn't know really what to say. It kind of took me by surprise how strange it was. Now, this is one of the areas in the game where I've mentioned before, you need as many bomb spores as you can carry. This is one of the areas I was talking about. It kind of takes you by surprise how often you need to use these little things. So, like I said, grab as many as you can, because there's nothing more annoying than having to need them and having to climb all the way up back to the surface to go and get some, or just having to look around here to get them. It's a pain in the arse. We're going to need these. Well, by the end of this part, we're going to need them anyway. Now, here's that character I was talking about. Listen to this. I'll just be quiet for a second. Just listen to this guy speak for a second.
A lantern to light your way. Good. Yes, very good. Good, good, excellent.
Now, that didn't seem too bad, from listening to that then. But when you come down here without a lantern, he goes mental and starts saying, I'm not going to try and do his accent, I can't do it, but basically his dialogue is, oh, you've tried to come down here without a lantern, then you'll be as mad as me. It's like really, really strange. And I was trying to figure out what accent he was actually using, like when I was watching this, to make notes and that. It's actually a Somerset accent, I think, which is a place in the west of England, and it's where, like, that kind of farmer accent, and you can tell Rare is an English studio because of their use of these kind of regional accents, and it's very, very bizarre, especially for any American viewers that are watching this. The accent will be very bizarre for you. Here's the white grub tubs we need to get. The method for getting them isn't too different, really. The only thing is, as you can see here, we're going to need fireflies because the place is dark down here. I find this place really annoying to walk through just because it's just not fun, and you really don't need the lantern. You could, if you've never played this game before, you could easily come down here and do this without the lantern. It's not hard. See, we've already needed the bomb spores twice, so like I said, just grab those when you can. Just adding to the woes of this place, really, I'm not really the biggest fan of the music track. It's a little too... It's atmospheric, don't get me wrong, and it works for where we are. But, like, I don't find it particularly engaging. It's not catchy, it's atmospheric's one thing, but being a nice, catchy piece of music helps as well, which is where I think David Wise was good at doing that in the Donkey Kong Country games, especially. That fade just a second ago was just so I could cut out the travelling between the rooms. Basically, you didn't really miss much. I just walked out of the place I was a second ago. God, that's satisfying. I hate when the bomb spores do that, when they latch onto the wall, because if it's just out of your reach like it would have been just then, and you don't grab it, it can be the most frustrating thing in the world. We're nearly done down here, we just got to get one more. And there it is. Right at the entrance. Yeah, I cut out all that journeying out of there because it's a waste of time. So let's give these to the Queen Earthwalker and heal her. I collected 6 of them. I gave you 1 and you feel better.
Okay, enough of the thanks.
Wow, what a... Fox is such a dick in this. Yeah, you nearly died. Get up, walk it off and tell me what I need to do. See, my question is there. If they've always wanted to rule Dinosaur Planet, why have you let them live there?
Right, a bad guy. But how did the planet get in such a mess?
Within the Krazoa Palace, he broke the seals of the Force Point.
I said it in the second part, I think, but like, this use of magic in the talking dinosaurs and the staff, and it's just not, it's not Star Fox at all. It's so bizarre to me, going back, like, playing this, like, especially after just finishing Lilac Wars. It's so bizarre to me, because it's like, it feels like a totally different series, and this part is so boring that Tricky's fallen asleep.
Nothing to hold back the magic force. The planet was torn apart.
At last, it all makes sense. So, the bad guy takes the spellstones, your planet falls apart, and I've got to find the spellstones and bring them back to the Force Point.
And I thought Batman was the world's greatest detective.
I told you he was good.
I don't... Tricky, what do you mean he's good? A child could have figured that out. You figured it out.
For only a
Oh, no.
of noble birth can bring
Oh, no.
spellstones.
What?
Well, that's the end. I'm not doing any more. This is bullshit. Why do we have to bring him with us?
I mean, it's gonna be very dangerous.
It really won't. I only died once in this entire playthrough. And I cut it out. And I'll explain... It was a bit later on. I'll explain to you people when it happened. Because it was actually pretty embarrassing.
Come on, Fox. We'll make a great team.
Okay, but if you mess up just once, I'll send you straight back to Mommy.
Okay, yeah.
I actually agree with Fox in this one. It's too dangerous. Also, Tricky's annoying, so I don't want to bring him with us.
Last seen in Dark Eye's mines. I know the gatekeeper, Garundate, a silly fellow, but he can guide you to the Spellstone. Go back to the Snowhorn Wastes.
I love how she calls Garundate a silly fellow, but when we actually meet him,
I think you'll need
he's not so much silly as an actual fucking moron.
Maybe it'll come in use somewhere.
Okay, enough already. Can I just get on with it?
Said every single person who got up to this point when playing Star Fox Adventures. This is another strange element of the game. Characters having items just on pure coincidence that you need. If, like, let's say for example that she didn't have that key, we wouldn't be able to progress any further. I find that incredibly fucking, no, a stroke of fucking luck, basically. And again, because, we're just going back to an area we already visited, I'll just cut out that bit, the travel in there. I meant to put a fade in, I'm sorry that it looks a bit too kind of, a bit obvious there. But, here's Garundate, he's that voice, he's the voice we were hearing throughout Snowhorn Waste when we travelled there in the first place. We travelled there before.
I'll be strong enough to get myself out. Perhaps the young prince can help you.
Well, my question to you is, how did you get down there? Did you fall down there, fall asleep, and the ice froze over you? I literally don't understand. Okay, so how you do this section can be a little bit annoying because a lot of it is very, like, I find it very badly programmed at points. Like, what you have to do is you have to knock the weeds down from the tree and send Tricky to find them, so he'll push them into the mouth of the mammoth, as it were. But, like, the first time I recorded this, I actually did it pretty well on this second occasion here, because you can see Tricky's just doing it straight away. The first time playing it, I struggled a bit with it. I had to fade and cut a load of it out. It took a good 10 minutes to do it. And I don't understand what the criteria is. Sometimes it will just work fine, and then just sometimes it just won't. You have to also multitask a lot here, which in this kind of combat system is a little bit annoying. As you can see earlier, I tried to hit 2 Sharp Claw at once. This, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, it's a nice change of pace using having Tricky actively help you out here. But, like, I mean, look at that. Like, I told him to, like, grab the thing, and he just wouldn't do it. And I wish that there needs to have been more direction here, I think, in telling you what to do. Or you take it out entirely and just have defeating the Sharp Claw the criteria. So, like, ultimately, the thing, how I would recommend doing this is just don't try and take out all the Sharp Claw. Just get Tricky to just not hit the tree. Get Tricky to push the thing and just take out the Sharp Claw that are going near him. Because as you know, I find that to be honest, that was the method that worked for me when I went into this section. And that's it, I think. Tricky just has to bring it up, and then we'll release him. Yep, there we go. And that was all the Sharp Claw needed to see. They ran away.
Who is this with you?
This is my friend Fox McCloud. My mother sent us to find you.
Tricky, don't make assumptions like that.
Spellstone gatekeeper of Dark Eye's mind.
We're looking for a spellstone.
A spellstone.
I actually really like Garundertay's design. Like, he's like, I don't know, I thought the boxing tape around the tusks is maybe a bit much, but like, I don't know, he doesn't look like he looks more like the town jester rather than like the ruler of them. He looks dumpy and goofy as fuck, but I love it. I also find it a bit more disconcerting that his daughter looks more like a man than he does.
She opened the gateway herself. Scales did not destroy my tribe. He enslaved them instead. My daughter dishonored.
I don't understand. This is a point that's kind of like never really explained too well in the game. What is he using them for? What is he using the Snowhorn tribe as slaves for?
Only then will the spellstone's power be
To create, you know what would have been pretty cool if he'd been using the, well, okay, I mean, cool isn't the right word, but like using them to create to mine the metal ore that they use for their weapons. That would have been quite dark, but it would have made Scales seem a bit more evil then. He enslaved them because it was helpful to him. Okay, let's go back to the Thorntail Hollow. Oh god, these little fucking things. I haven't said this yet because I was saving it for a later part, but I'll say it now. Those little bat things, fuck them. The most annoying enemies in the game, swear to god. They won't leave you alone. Now what you had to do is get enough fuel cells so you can reach Dark Ice Mine, and I have. And I did that off screen. So just kind of look around the hollow and you'll find them, and if not, you know, go into the shop. He's got an unlimited supply of them. And this is the basic structure of Star Fox Adventures, really, people. What you're doing is you're going into, on the planet, you're going to various places, finding the gatekeepers, and then going in the Arwing to fly off planet, to go and, save the planet. And every time you go to a different section of the planet, you get your own you get a kind of a unique Arwing section, which is pretty nice. Also, I'd like to point out, I love the fact that on the little version of the chunk of the planet there, it's got kind of an accurate representation of what it is when you go down there. So like it's basically just to get a downscaled rather version of the actual area, which is pretty nice. Also, as a side note, the world map music, quote unquote, is a nice kind of remix of the world map music from Lilac Wars. Kind of a superfluous connection, really. This is, like I said, apart from the ending, this is really the only Arwing gameplay you're getting, and it doesn't really change that much, and I find that a little bit disappointing, because as I explained in the second part, it controls fine, it's fun, but they needed to do more here, or don't have them all if you're gonna if you're making it if you're taking the Star Fox series in a different direction, just don't have them at all, because you're literally setting up people for disappointment. And that's never cool. And that's it. We got enough gold rings for the Dark Ice Mines, so we can go and save these woolly mammoths from Scales' enslavement, and we can hopefully get our first Spellstone. And I didn't do too well on the high score front there. Ah, the fire level. I shouldn't expect any less in a Legend of Zelda clone. Well, that's it for part 4 of Star Fox Adventures. I'll see you next time when we conquer the Dark Ice Mines. See you then.